Hey y'all, what's up? It is your favorite non-binary supernova, Dean Curtis. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've been finding real heavy on my heart. So what we're gonna do today, you're gonna watch me just beat my face. You're gonna watch me do that. And while we do that, we are going to discuss Butch Queens on today's show. Butch Queen, if you don't know, is a gay male that is neither extremely feminine nor extremely masculine and can easily portray both. That is what I am. And growing up, I didn't really consider myself a Butch Queen. I hated being called a Butch Queen growing up. But as you get older, you learn to not appreciate certain things, but as I gotten older and more knowledgeable of my community, I've grown to accept and embrace a lot of things, and terminologies have been one of them. As you hear every time in my intro, I describe myself as your favorite non-binary supernova, and that's because that's what I am. I'm not gender conforming. As you can see, I have a whole beard. I know I was born genetically a male, but I have a lot of feminine qualities that I love to embrace. I like hair. I like makeup. I can walk down boots, baby, okay? And it's just, as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate those things. So if you want to call me a Butch Queen, you call me a Butch Queen. You want to call me a boy? Call me a boy. You want to call me a girl? Hey, I've grown to accept that too. So that's basically why I'm non-binary. I'm neither male nor female. I'm non-conforming, guys. And I know for a lot of you out there that can be confusing. And hopefully when we get into this video today, someone will be left with an understanding or less confusion on why people choose the pronouns that they choose. So come along with me on this ride. Well, what actually sparked my interest in talking about this today, I was watching P Valley. The love interest for Uncle Clifford was the up-and-coming rapper known as Lil Murda. And of course, all my brothers and my sisters in the LGBT community, that is like the typical love whirlwind that we face. You have this, I'm not even gonna call him a homo thug because he's a thug, okay? Whether you wanna call him a homo thug or not, he's a thug. What he likes does not define the way he portrays himself, and that's what we're gonna get into today. But this thug happened to fall for one of my non-binary or non-gender conforming sisters, Uncle Clifford. So that's what I really liked about the show. Number one, that really drew me into it was the fact that it touched on some real life stuff that I could relate to. Now, you see somebody like me. I have no problem being who I am. Not gonna say it was always that easy, because it wasn't. It's just something that you learn to appreciate and you learn to do as you get older. The older you get, well, not for everybody, mind you, anything that we talk about today, I am discussing myself. Things that I've been through, things that I've felt, and everybody's journey is not the same. And that's something that I wish that everyone would start to embrace. What worked for you may not work for the next person. So don't be so judgmental of someone else because you feel as though they should be able to do this. Or, because a lot of people in the world talk down on our DL brothers or our in the closet brothers. But you have got to understand, until you're in those person's shoes, it's not easy for everybody to live out loud and be free. So you shouldn't make someone feel like they have to come out just because you feel as though you want to know their business. If you're not sleeping with them, why do you need to know their business anyway? If you're not caught up, Uncle Clifford is the owner of the Pink. He runs the strip club. He has a full beard like moi. He wears his wigs like moi. He wears his makeup. I don't wear nails yet. He wears heels or anything like that. I haven't ventured that far. Don't know if I ever will, but I haven't ventured that far yet. And He's very proud in who he is, and you can't hide it. You can't miss it. That's who he is. He happens to fall for up-and-coming rapper Lil Murda, who is this thug. Now, a lot of course, when they first start their little romance and messing around, it's kept in the dark. It's a secret. While it being a secret, they're sneaking around. They have to sneak in the dark. Of course, this becomes strange on the relationship, and people, you get tired of sneaking. You get tired of feeling like you're someone's closet case, and that's why I personally have grown to want to not deal with the DLs or the brothers who aren't necessarily ready to come out, because it becomes strenuous. So they fall for each other, okay? And they start messing around. But the reason, what got me to want to talk about this was the scene where Lil Murda's manager, okay, so they've been sneaking around, they've been messing with each other before he becomes big, and Lil Murda blows up over this one dance on Mercedes' last dance night. She danced for him, to his track, and it blew up. So his manager had found out about him messing with Uncle Clifford, which y'all normies would consider him like a drag queen or something like that. So you can get the picture if you haven't seen the show. Y'all normies would call him a drag queen. So his manager finds out that he likes Uncle Clifford, and was like, oh, it's supposed to be a one-time thing. Before the big show, Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda hooks up. He whisks him away to go and surprise him with this gift that he had. All perfect. Like, Lil Murda started showing Uncle Clifford that, hey, I'm interested in you. He came home to meet Uncle Clifford's grandmother. Like, he was really showing this guy, like, hey, I'm interested in you. He didn't care about what others were saying. He wants Uncle Clifford. And I was just sitting there like, if only it could be that simple. And it's sad because it really can't ever be that simple, because you have people like Lil Murda's quote-unquote manager. When Lil Murda's manager saw them coming out from the woods, from hooking up, the night of the big performance, he had a conversation with Lil Murda. And he was telling him that, you like what you like and you can't help what your heart wants, but you aren't going to risk us losing this big deal because you went sneaking and freaking, with Uncle Clifford. And that's what made me want to make this video. Why is it that if someone falls for somebody like me, do the people around them who finds out do not encourage that? If this was back in the 80s or the 90s when being gay was not as prominent as it is now, then I could get it. But you have people now who are 83 years old and they're finally coming out the closet. And it's just like, you would rather somebody that you say you love and you care about to be happy and to live their life the way they want to live their life. Don't nobody want to spend years in no closet because they are afraid of losing somebody that they think that they care for. A person wants to live out in the open, or they want to express their love for somebody that they've fallen in love with. We as people should encourage them. You should not tear them down, because at the end of the day, you can be straight and you can have a homeboy that's gay, and you should think nothing of it. One of my very best friends of 11 plus years, like, he's straight and I'm gay, and we have never done anything. Like, never crossed those lines. I was upfront about it, but we realized, like, look, you my homie. I accept your lifestyle for who you are. I'm not like that. but I'm not gonna not show you love and affection because you are. And if people don't understand that, that's for them. And like my best friend has been literally one of my like longest friendships. And just because he really has meant that much to me and he stood on his promise to me, he's never gonna allow nobody to take what we have and turn it into something that we know it's not. So if you, like I was saying, if you have somebody in your corner who loves you for you genuinely and don't give a F about what other people say, you should be able to love who you want to love. But yes, Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda, they fell for each other. And the manager basically was telling Lil Murda that he cannot allow his lust for Uncle Clifford to affect their business. And I find it though that was not cool because basically he wanted that man to stay in the closet. And Lil Murda was taking steps to coming out of the closet for Uncle Clifford. And from the jump, Uncle Clifford was telling him like, you and me, we can't be together, you know, because people get murdered for loving the same sex. Uncle Clifford was not a transgender, but you know all my trans women out here are being murdered because people who think like Lil Murda's manager thinks we supposed to be someone's fetish and kept in the dark, which I am sick of. Feeling like I'm someone's fetish and rather not being able to tell whether they really love me or not, feeling like he can't love or be with me because of what others in his career field may say. And that's not fair. It wasn't fair to Uncle Clifford. It's not fair to any of my trans women. And it's not fair to the men who love them. It's really not. But I don't think that it's fair for someone to stay in the closet because you're afraid of what the world is not gonna perceive them as. Like, especially for rappers, that's why y'all got so many download men now. Because even if they wanted to come out, they couldn't. Because the world talking about the men gotta wanna be you and the women gotta wanna screw you for you to be successful. When in reality, a lot of y'all are sleeping with gay men already and y'all know it. So I just think it's unfair, and I think we as a human race need to do better. If you want to encourage somebody to be themselves, you don't want to discourage them. You don't want to discourage them from coming out or loving who they want to love because the world may not understand. Because that is torture. I've been with so many men and have had to have that conversation. From high school, from middle school, like so many guys, like literally I have had so many boyfriends talking about somebody ever found out about us, I would kill myself. And of course I was younger back then, so it really didn't hit me the way it would hit me as an adult. But can y'all imagine being something and not being able to express that to your friends or your family? And feeling like you would have to take your own life if someone found out who you were genuinely behind closed doors? Yeah, it sounds pretty harsh when you say it out loud, right? But that's the reality that you guys are putting people in the LGBT community on a day-to-day basis. Because when they want to be themselves and love who they want to love, we have people like Lil Murda's manager who tell them to stay in the closet or else you'll ruin our deal. To tell them, or if somebody ever found out, you wouldn't be successful. It's pretty damn harsh, don't you think? For girls like me to find someone that we fall for and we fall in love with, but have to keep their secret. And of course, when you love somebody, you'll do things like that. You'll keep their secret and you'll be there for them. But it's not fair to the person to have to keep your secret. And it's not fair to the person to keep the secret. You should want to feel comfortable in loving who you want to love, despite what anybody has to say. And the funny part about it, the people that really matter don't mind. And the people that do mind, they don't matter. But that's only something that living in your truth will teach you. I had to learn that decision the hard way. Like, you can always tell that I was gay. But of course, I never walked around like, oh yeah, I'm gay. I dated girls all the way up until my high school career. Like, literally, I don't like that in middle school. I'm not about to live and not be me. So by the time I got to high school, I started dating boys. And of course, in high school, they weren't out. That created a whole whirlwind in high school. Some of them still had, that's the wrong concealer. Sure is. Some of them still had girlfriends, which didn't make me happy, so we can do that. Some of them still had girlfriends, and that didn't make me happy, but when you love somebody, you do what you gotta do to make them happy. And that put a lot of stress on me. Look, I'm trying to be all correct for y'all and use the blending brush. I don't do that. I be using my hands. I be using all that. But yep, those are the things that you do for people you love. You keep their secrets. You do public, you experience public humiliation like Uncle Clifford did, and heartbreak. It's not cool, but that's society. That's what you're faced with. So when are we as a people gonna wake up? Because it's not fair. It's not fair for the person that y'all trying to keep in the closet. It's not fair for the person that loves them. And really, it really messes with their mental stability. And that's not cool to have somebody running around feel like they can't be who they want to be, all because y'all don't want them to come out the closet. And it's never the person that's in the relationship that don't want to do it. They'll be willing to do the things that they have to do to make the person happy, but it's the people around them that prevents them from doing that, because y'all make stupid comments and y'all make stupid Facebook posts about people being gay, or people loving trans women, or people loving butch queens, or loving a feminine man. It's like we're only supposed to be kept in the dark. And that's pretty daggum cruel. To think that we're supposed to only be loved in the dark and good enough for you to secretly have sex with us. And I recently had to have a conversation with my brother. He had made a Facebook post that was talking about the non-gender conforming people in the LGBT community. Whether he thought he was portraying it that way or not, that's what he was portraying. His post was the same problem that my LGBT non-conforming girls have to deal with. It was about trans women and the men that love them. And even someone commented on the post, told him like, hey bro, if I'm a man and I view her as a trans woman, I view her as a woman. And then he went on and expressed how he felt as though that was stupid and you're still gay and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, my brother's a cis male, means he's straight on male. Like, get up on y'all terminology, people, because I'm not going to be explaining this all the time. But yes, him being a cis male, he did not understand how it was still not gay. Which we had to have a long talk, because I felt as though him being my brother, how could you make a post like that? You have a direct line to me. And me and my non-conforming ways. If you make a derogatory comment about any of my brothers and sisters in the LGBT community, I fall under the same category. You can't say, oh, I understand you, but I don't get them, or how they feel as though it's okay to say they're not gay when that shit is gay. And when I say that was one of the hardest conversations that I've had to have in a long time, because this was somebody who I just thought understood. And it's hard for him to be a cis male because, heck, like I explained to him, if it's hard for you to understand, how do you think my girls feel? How do you think the LGBT people feel? It's hard for us to put in words sometimes what we're feeling and how we're feeling when we got all these labels and all these stipulations that we have got to follow. And it's not like we created it. The cis people did. They put us in these boxes and all of that so they could try to understand our gender or our mind. And it wasn't our fault. The cis people created that. All we did was say, hey, you're not going to define me. And that's why I started becoming non-binary and embracing my Butch Queenism. Because I always consider myself, yes, I know I'm a man. The outside world are the ones that said, do you want to be a girl? And I'm like, how? I have a full beard. I've had a beard since I was a kid. Like, I started growing a beard in middle school. So how could I want to be a girl? You don't see me transitioning, but what makes you think that I want to be a girl? And they would say, oh, because you're pretty. So that means I wanted to be a girl because I'm pretty. But these are the things that I had to face. So I've always liked hair. Even out before I started wearing wigs and extensions, weave, whatever. I've always been a fan. My hair has always been long and pretty. So I've always liked long hair. But growing up, that was their thing of saying, oh, that's why I think you're a drag queen because you're so pretty. So I had to learn what the hell a drag queen was. Oh, you're a transgender. I'm not on hormones. I'm not transitioning from being a male to a female. So no, just because I like to look pretty and it enhance my gorgeousness, so I wear makeup. If I want to, I'll wear weave. Does that make me any of the things that I just said? No. So what does that make me? A gay male that is neither extremely feminine nor extremely masculine and can portray both. In my community, those are called butch queens. So one day I was like, oh, so I am a butch queen. An older gay had told me that I was a butch queen. And I was just like, I ain't no my butch queen. I ain't this and I ain't that and I ain't da 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 da. But once I learned what a butch queen was, it's like, oh, that is me. I'm still a man. Hell, I like to look pretty. So if that makes me a butch queen, then butch queen me up, baby. Because that's what I'm gonna be. It is hard for people like me to be dating somebody or want to date somebody. And we love people for who they are. But why do they have to be DL? Because if they come out as gay, people like Little Murder's manager, and there's still people out there who think like that, think just because someone's sexuality defines who they are, and it does not. I don't care if you have sex with a man or you have sex with a woman. If you want to be a thug, you want to be a thug, period. And ain't nobody gonna stop you from being a thug. If you want to be a rapper, you're gonna be a rapper, period. Ain't nobody gonna stop you from being a rapper. We got to stop putting these labels or unrealistic expectations on people and let them live their life. Literally, in my community, the suicide rate and the murder rate doubles each year because of stupid like that. And it's hard. It is so hard for somebody to live and be free. But when they find somebody who they love and they care for, be sneaking and feeling like they're their secret because of the society that we live in. These are the things that my community face every day. You meet somebody. Yeah, they love you when you're a thug. Yeah, so you can keep your little secret. But one day, you're gonna wake up as you get older and you're gonna not want that secret to be a secret. You're gonna wanna live and be free. This is supposed to be the land of the free. Well, we know my black people aren't free. But we live in a world where everyone's supposed to be able to be free and be who they wanna be. And yet we continue this stigma that because if a person is gay, that they are less of a man. I know gay men that are more men than you straight men will ever be, that bends over backwards to protect these women that y'all won't even protect. We talking cis women, transgender women, all of that. We live in a world where they would rather you not live out loud and be yourself, but be this fake facade just because to save face. We gotta stop that. We've got to do better. Mental health is real, and trying to create a facade and living under these unrealistic guidelines affects people's mental health. And if you love somebody, you know what they're into. They don't have to come to you and say it. But just think about what they do in their room alone at night, not sexually. I'm talking mentally, when they gotta cry themselves to sleep. When they'd rather take their own life than to be who they wanna be and live out loud because of judgments from people that they care about. People get disowned daily because they come out and wanna be happy. People get thrown out of their houses at a very young age because they wanna be free and be who they are. This happens every single day in a gay community. When somebody wants to live and be free, they can't because of judgments from the outside world. So think about this video. The next time you want to judge somebody or you hear about somebody possibly being gay, DL, liking trans women, liking my Butch Queens, and you like, oh, I thought he was a thug, that nigga gay. Think about this video and just think to yourself, dang, did I ever have to grow up being straight and hide who I was? Did I constantly have people questioning me, well, why are you the straight? What makes you straight? The same thing that makes you straight is the same thing that makes the next person gay. You love who you want to love. You like who you want to like. You like white women. You like black women. You like Hispanic women. You like vagina. All shapes, sizes, and different forms of vagina. You grew up and you knew that's what you like. So why can't they? I'm just saying, we're living in a world right now where you need to be kinder to your next person because you never know what people are going through in the dark. And your little rants, your little judgments, that could be the cause for somebody to take their own life. Because they're constantly having to live in a closet and not being able to be free. So I'm just saying, think about it. The next time you want to jig on that person who you find out may be sleeping with a trans woman or may be attracted to a transgender, think about it. We all, at the end of the day, are out for what? You just want somebody to love and grow old with and accept you for you. If you can do that, so should the gay people. I love my brothers and my sisters in the LGBT community. If you ever are in need of talk, someone to vent to, my DMs are always open. My messages, I more than likely always reply. Even if I can't get right back to you, I will respond. Because you're not alone. I've lived through it. I've been myself for 30 years and counting. And I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. But baby, it is so worth it for you just being yourself. So remember, guys, especially in the world that we're living into today, you should always spread a little bit more love and a little less hate. Because you never know what the person behind you, beside you, in front of you may be going through. And we all got it rough, but y'all know how the old saying goes. Somebody always got it out there worse than you. Shout out to my girl, Seriously Inappropriate Tees, who made me this Butch Queen shirt. I have another one that you've seen in my other video. It's my crop top, but yes, this still says Butch Queen, and it gives you the definition of a Butch Queen. You can find her on my Facebook, my Instagram. If she's tagged in anytime I wear her shirts. So if you want one, hit her up, and she will definitely hook you up. You think it, she prints it. And this has been your dose of reality. I am your favorite non-binary supernova, Dean Curtis, reminding you to spread love and no hate. See y'all next time.